Imagine traveling with me on a slow, careful mission toward a black hole, guided by real science from start to end. You feel a low, steady vibration from the ship around you, and the quiet sound of systems working as you settle into your seat. Through your window, space grows dark and deep, with stars bending and stretching as we move closer. You notice light changing shape, curving and thinning, showing how strong gravity pulls on everything nearby. The dark center ahead stays hidden, while the space around it tells the story through motion and light. Watch how time and distance seem to shift, not by feeling, but by what our tools and eyes can measure. Everything you are seeing comes from real data and tested ideas, even if your mind needs time to accept what is happening. Before we continue, remember that simple support, like a like or subscribe, helps this work go on, and it truly matters. Now take a moment, close your eyes, prepare for sleep, and feel everything around you as the journey stays with you. Let the experience continue quietly in your thoughts as you drift deeper into the darkness. You settle into your seat as the shuttle hums softly beneath you. The controls are cool under your fingertips, the seat strapped snug across your chest and thighs, keeping you steady in the gentle microgravity that surrounds you. The soft vibration of the engines is constant but subtle, like the pulse of a quiet heartbeat through the metal floor. Outside the wide front window, space stretches endlessly, a canvas of black sprinkled with pinpoints of white and blue, each star distant but steady. You take a deep breath, the recycled air warm and clean, and focus on the view. This is your first real approach to a black hole. You feel a tingle of anticipation, a quiet awareness that the laws of space and time are about to feel different around you. You reach forward to adjust the shuttle's observation panel, your fingertips brushing across the smooth surface. Sensors light up with readouts of distance, radiation, and gravitational pull. The black hole is far off now, a tiny dark spot in the center of a glowing halo. Its accretion disk swirls around it in brilliant colors, bands of gold, orange, and white, formed from gas and dust heated to millions of degrees as it spirals inward. You watch, fascinated, as the disk twists and churns, brighter on one side than the other. That side is moving toward you, and the light is compressed, appearing bluer. The side moving away is redder. You see the effect happen slowly at first, and then more clearly as your eyes adjust. This is the Doppler effect in action. Simple in principle, but astonishing when it is a real, live cosmic display before you. You lean closer to the window, eyes tracing the edges of the disk. Around the black hole, the light from background stars bends, curving toward you. You notice that stars that should be straight lines appear stretched or doubled, forming faint arcs around the dark center. This is gravitational lensing, where the immense gravity of the black hole pulls light toward it, bending space itself. You move your head slightly, and the distorted stars seem to shift, sliding along invisible curves. The sensation is subtle, almost hypnotic, and you feel a slight chill as you realize that the physics here are extreme, but very real. Your hands rest on the console again, and you notice small vibrations in the shuttle as thrusters make minor corrections. You feel connected to the craft, aware of its movements in response to gravity and the orbital mechanics that guide your path. The shuttle is far from the black hole now, millions of kilometers away, but its presence dominates the window. You can sense how massive it is, not by sight alone, but by the way its gravity begins to influence the trajectory of particles and light around it. Tiny specks of dust and gas orbit slowly, caught in the pull, and you imagine the immense forces at work. shaping the behavior of matter and energy. The glow of the accretion disk is not constant. You see flares suddenly appear as blobs of gas, spiral inward. The light intensifies for a moment, then fades, like flickers of fire in a cosmic forge. You lean back and allow your gaze to wander over the surrounding space. Stars seem to bend and shimmer, their paths distorted as they pass near the black hole. The visual effect is subtle but persistent, and it pulls your attention continuously, making you aware of the stretching and twisting of space. You notice the black center completely dark, where no light escapes, a true void in the sea of stars. You realize that this is the event horizon, the edge of the black hole, invisible but absolute. Anything that crosses it will not return. You feel a quiet respect for the immense power contained in that invisible boundary. You shift slightly in your seat, feeling the gentle pull as the shuttle adjusts its orbit around the black hole's periphery. The motion is smooth, almost imperceptible, but your body notices the subtle change. Your eyes follow the bright bands of the accretion disk, noticing areas where gas moves faster, heated to brighter shades of white and blue. You can sense the immense speed of these particles, approaching fractions of the speed of light. The heat generated in the disk would be lethal up close, but here, from a safe distance, it is a visual spectacle glowing softly against the dark void. You feel both awe and caution, aware of the energy being released in waves of X-rays and gamma rays, invisible to your eyes but detected by the shuttle's sensors. You reach out to touch the panel showing gravitational readings. The numbers shift slowly but constantly as your shuttle maintains its path. You feel a connection to the mathematics, understanding that the invisible tug you feel is measurable, predictable, and obeys the rules of Einstein's general relativity. You watch how your course interacts with the warped space around the black hole, every adjustment precise, a careful dance with gravity. You sense that, though the forces are immense, you are in control, guided by instruments and calculations, experiencing phenomena that humans have only observed from afar until now. As you watch, a sudden flare of light bursts from the disk. You see gas being pulled inward, heated, and accelerated. The brightness changes the color balance, painting the surrounding space with a soft golden hue for a moment. Your chest tightens slightly, not from fear, but from pure awareness of the cosmic power at play. You notice how the surrounding stars appear to shift slightly, as if the light itself is bending differently with the sudden energy release. You focus on the sensation, the quiet hum of the shuttle, the visual dance of plasma and light, feeling fully present in the observation. The shuttle's instruments detect a faint increase in radiation, and you notice it as a soft glow on the shielded panels in front of you. You feel the spacecraft absorb some of the energy, and a tiny warmth radiates through the floor. You shift, your gaze back to the black hole, seeing the glow of the accretion disk slowly rotate, a constant motion against the still black center. You can sense the scale, the mass, the power that no object on Earth could contain. The knowledge of the black hole's size and mass fills your mind, and yet you are calm, connected to the shuttle, your senses grounded in the tactile, auditory, and visual experiences around you. Time seems to flow normally here, yet you are aware that closer to the black hole, time would behave differently. Clocks outside your immediate shuttle would tick faster, though you cannot see it directly. You can feel the immense gravity waiting, the edge of an experience unlike any other. You watch as small clumps of dust and gas approach the disk, drawn inexorably toward the black center. The motion is hypnotic, continuous, and you realize you are observing processes that take millions of years, compressed into this living moment before your eyes. You take a slow breath, feeling the shuttle's life support gently move air through the cabin. The vibration from the engines is constant but soft, a reminder that you are protected, guided, and stable. You feel a sense of reverence as your eyes follow the curved path of light around the black hole, noticing stars warped into faint arcs, the glow of matter spiraling inward, the invisible center that holds gravity so tightly that nothing escapes. You sense the beginning of your journey, the edge of approach, the anticipation of moving closer, and you are fully awake to every sight, sound, and subtle motion. Outside, the universe stretches in every direction. The black hole dominates your vision, but surrounding it are distant stars, nebulae, and galaxies. Their light is bent, magnified, and distorted by the immense gravity, creating arcs and loops that are both beautiful and impossible. You watch carefully, noticing differences in brightness, the way some stars split into two, the soft halo that surrounds the central void. You feel the quiet pull of gravity in your body, minuscule at this distance, but noticeable, and your mind begins to prepare for the closer approach, aware that each observation you make now will inform your next steps. You gently adjust the shuttle's orientation, turning slightly to follow the motion of the accretion disk. You notice subtle differences in the disk's rotation speed, temperature variations, and density. Your instruments measure radiation, particle flow, and gravitational influence. You feel a sense of connection between yourself, the shuttle, and the black hole, as if you are participating in a cosmic observation that has never been experienced at this intimacy before. Every detail is real, measurable, and alive, and your senses drink it in. As you continue to watch, the disk's motion becomes more hypnotic. Gas streams twist inward, brighter areas indicate hotter material, and darker gaps show cooler regions. You lean forward, eyes tracing the spirals, imagining the forces at work. You feel the pulse of energy in the spacecraft's sensors, the gentle vibration through the floor, the warmth from radiation absorbed by shields. You realize that the universe you are seeing is both violent and calm, ordered yet chaotic, and you are present at the very threshold of one of its most extreme phenomena. You sit back slightly, taking it all in, aware that this is only the beginning of your journey, the first step toward a closer encounter, and every sense is fully engaged, absorbing the vastness, the energy, and the beauty of the black hole before you. You guide the shuttle closer to the glowing disk. The engine hum is steady under your hands. Outside, the colors of the accretion disk grow brighter. Bands of gold and orange twist and ripple, spinning faster the closer you get. You notice the disk is not smooth. Streams of gas swirl inward in thin ribbons, bright at the edges, darker in the gaps. Your eyes trace each, spiral as if following invisible currents. You feel your chest press slightly against the harness. The shuttle's motion is gentle, but you sense the pull of the black hole far below. It is strong, but not yet dangerous. You are at the edge, close enough to see its power, far enough to stay safe. A soft warmth touches your skin, through your suit. It is not heat in the normal sense. Your sensors detect electromagnetic radiation from the hot gas. You reach out, imagining the invisible waves brushing against you. It is faint, a quiet reminder of the energy in this place. You lean forward and watch a brighter stream of gas spiral faster, its glow almost white. The movement is smooth and endless. Each particle you see is traveling millions of kilometers per hour, moving closer to the black hole in a race they cannot win. The disk seems alive, spinning, twisting, and shining with energy. You follow it with your eyes, feeling small in comparison, yet fully part of the moment. Far above and below the black hole, you notice thin, straight jets shooting into space. They extend for thousands of kilometers, narrow and sharp. Particles within them move almost at the speed of light. You see faint sparks of X-rays and gamma rays, shimmering like stars in motion. The jets are aligned with the black hole's rotation, a perfect contrast to the swirling chaos of the disk. You tilt your head, trying to follow the flow. Light bends around them slightly, warping space and stretching the lines. You feel a thrill watching something so powerful move so cleanly. Your body stays calm, but your mind recognizes the scale. These jets carry more energy than entire planets could ever hold. You are close enough to feel the intensity without danger, and the shuttle's shields hum softly in response, a quiet vibration through your hands. You move the shuttle slowly along the edge of the disk. Light changes constantly. Some areas are brighter, hotter, almost white. Others are dimmer, glowing, softer shades of yellow or orange. You notice subtle waves in the gas. Magnetic fields guide the plasma along invisible paths. You can sense the invisible lines stretching above and below, shaping the motion of particles. You see tiny clumps of matter twisting along, colliding and heating up. Each collision creates a flash, tiny but visible. You follow them, noticing their acceleration. Time seems to stretch as you watch individual particles speed up, turning faster, moving inward, almost merging with the black hole. You feel like a passenger on the edge of eternity, seeing the universe in motion. The shuttle's instruments beep softly as sensors detect radiation peaks. You glance down at the panels. The numbers rise and fall, showing the flow of X-rays and gamma rays. You watch the readings carefully. Your hands rest lightly on the controls, adjusting minor angles, keeping the shuttle in balance. Outside, the disk rotates steadily, a river of light and energy. You feel the contrast between your calm motion and the violent speed of the gas. The colors swirl, bright streaks bending as if they follow hidden paths in space. You notice some particles appear blue, others red, depending on whether they are moving toward or away from you. The Doppler effect is clear. You can see it. Your eyes trace the changes, noticing every subtle shift. Each color, each motion tells a story about speed and direction, energy and force. You tilt slightly to observe the inner edge of the disk. The gas there moves faster, closer to the speed of light. Bright streaks shimmer and bend. You watch as some blobs of plasma twist, spiral, and vanish into the black center. The motion is fluid, continuous. You feel your heart beat a little faster. The physics are simple in theory, yet breathtaking in reality. Every particle obeys gravity and the spin of the black hole. You sense the invisible tug pulling everything inward. You notice how the bright regions appear to warp the space around them, stretching the light of background stars into arcs. You see the same bending of light that you noticed from afar, but now the effect is more extreme. You feel the gentle thrill of understanding the universe's rules in action. Your gaze drifts to the jets again. They shine against the blackness, thin columns of energy piercing space. Particles move so fast that time seems different for them, even though you cannot see it directly. You follow the streams, noticing tiny variations in brightness along the length. The center glows slightly more, the edges flicker. You sense that the magnetic fields confine and shape the motion, invisible but powerful. You feel your mind adjusting to this scale. The disk, the jets, the black hole. Everything moves according to precise laws, yet it feels alive. You take a deep breath, enjoying the quiet hum of the shuttle, the soft warmth on your skin, the glow outside, and the infinite detail in motion. As you continue, you notice waves in the disk, spiral patterns repeating over and over. Some are small ripples, some huge, stretching across thousands of kilometers. The light bends along the curves, creating faint, ghostly streaks of color. You lean closer to the window, eyes tracking every ribbon of plasma. You feel the faint vibration again through the shuttle. Even at this distance, the energy here is immense. You sense it, not as heat or force, but as a subtle presence in the cabin. Your awareness stretches to match the scale outside. You feel the motion of the gas, the invisible fields, the dance of particles, and the pull of gravity. It is quiet but powerful, overwhelming yet calm. You follow a small clump of matter spiraling inward. It moves faster, spinning brighter. You can see X-ray flashes as it rubs against other material. The energy is high, dangerous close up, but you are far enough to observe safely. You notice how the brightness flickers with its speed. You adjust your seat slightly, feeling the shuttle. Respond. Your hands hover over the controls, fine-tuning orientation. The display shows velocity and radiation levels. You feel in tune with the craft. Outside, the disk spins endlessly, a river of matter racing toward the invisible center. You are a witness, a participant, experiencing both the calm of your protected position and the fury of motion around you. The jets flare again, sending out a quick pulse of energy. You see particles moving in streams, glowing against the black. You feel a slight warmth in your senses, more than before. The shuttle vibrates gently. You notice tiny shifts in light from the disk, as if responding to the pulse. You track every movement, every color change. The combination of disk and jets creates a pattern, almost a rhythm. You follow it with your eyes, noticing how it curves and stretches, how the light bends, how the energy moves. You feel fully present, aware of every detail, every motion, every particle that you can see. Your gaze returns to the center, to the dark void. Everything spins around it, yet the black center is calm, silent, and absolute. You sense the boundary beyond which nothing returns. You feel a quiet respect, a careful awareness. You watch as more particles spiral inward, some stretching in the inner bands, some joining the central flow. You notice the way light bends from the outer disk to the inner disk. Stars in the background stretch into arcs and loops. You follow the path of one bright streak of gas as it speeds along its spiral. The movement is hypnotic, endless, and full of energy. You feel both small and fully alive in this moment, connected to the universe and the craft that holds you safely. The glow of the disk pulses slightly as material interacts, collides, and accelerates. You see flashes where particles rub together, heating instantly. X-ray detectors on the shuttle register subtle spikes. You feel a tiny vibration under your fingertips, subtle but present. Your eyes follow the motion, tracking the spirals inward. You realize that each color, each speed, each curve tells a story of force, motion, and gravity. You lean back slightly, breathing slowly, feeling the warmth, the hum, the light, and the incredible energy of the black hole's disk. You are at the edge, watching, sensing, understanding, and fully present, ready to move deeper into the experience as the journey continues. You guide the shuttle a little closer. The hum of the engines is steady beneath you. Outside, the stars begin to look different. They stretch, curve, and warp. You notice lines of light bending around the black hole, twisting in gentle arcs, The effect is subtle at first, but then it becomes clear. Background stars appear doubled or smeared, forming faint loops around the glowing disk. You lean forward, resting your hands lightly on the panel, and follow the motion with your eyes. Each star's light curves as it passes near the black hole, and you can see the way gravity bends space itself. It is not just visual. It is real, measurable, and alive before your eyes. You watch the sky slowly change. The stars form patterns you cannot name, as if the universe is melting and reshaping itself. Light from distant galaxies bends into arcs, some forming complete rings. You realize these are Einstein rings, the signature of extreme gravitational lensing. You follow a single bright star as it appears to loop around the black hole, then stretch into an arc, fading and brightening as the shuttle moves. Your heart beats quietly in your chest as your eyes adjust. You are seeing space in a way that no human could observe from the ground. You feel the scale, the curvature, the depth of the universe bending in real time. You reach out, running your fingers along the edge of the observation panel. The shuttle vibrates ever so slightly. It is not the engines. It is the pull of gravity, tidal forces moving through the structure. You can feel them in your hands, tiny, almost imperceptible. You focus on the subtle shift, aware that even in space, nothing is perfectly still. You adjust your posture to compensate, leaning slightly into the pull. Outside, the warped sky is mesmerizing. Each star stretches differently depending on its distance and angle. You notice faint arcs forming, some stretching across the window, others circling the black hole completely. The universe feels alive, twisting around the central void. You watch a faint galaxy behind the black hole. Its light curves around the dark center, forming a thin, luminous arc. Tiny details in the galaxy shift as you move the shuttle. Spiral arms that would be familiar appear stretched, distorted, almost surreal. You trace them with your eyes, following the bending lines of light. You feel a quiet thrill at seeing this phenomenon in real time, understanding that every curve, every loop, is the effect of gravity warping space. You feel the truth of general relativity, not in equations, but in your senses. You tilt the shuttle slightly to observe a cluster of distant stars. They appear doubled, stretched into long arcs, bright and faint at the same time. You notice gaps where light seems missing, absorbed or redirected by the black hole's gravity. You track the motion of one bright star as it slowly curves across your view, creating a small, perfect ring at one point. You imagine standing at that point, seeing the light circle completely, bending under the pull of mass. You feel connected to the physics, to the invisible lines of force shaping the cosmos. Your chest rises slowly as you breathe, fully aware of the calm motion of your own body against the warp of space outside. The accretion disk glows brighter as you move closer. Its light warps too, bending toward the center, curving along the gravitational field. Streams of gas twist, some appearing doubled or stretched. You follow the motion with your eyes, noting how the light changes depending on angle and distance. You feel a faint pressure in your chest as the shuttle experiences the tidal pull. It is gentle, almost imperceptible, but it is there. You adjust the controls slightly, feeling the craft respond. Tiny shifts in orientation keeping you steady. Outside, the kaleidoscope of stars and gas moves continuously. Each line of light tells a story of mass, gravity, and motion. You notice a bright background star directly behind the black hole. Its light is stretched into a thin, glowing ring around the silhouette. You follow the ring slowly with your eyes, observing how it grows wider or narrower as your perspective shifts. You feel a quiet awe. The ring is perfect, a visible trace of gravity bending light in space. You lean slightly forward, feeling the shuttle respond to minute tidal shifts. Each time you breathe, your chest moves gently, in rhythm with the soft hum of instruments. You are calm, yet fully aware of the extreme forces at work around you. You shift your gaze to the far edge of the disk. Stars near the horizon bend in arcs you did not expect. You trace one faint spiral, following the light as it twists. You feel the subtle vibration again, through the floor and your fingertips, a reminder of the black hole's pull. You notice how the disk's own light bends around itself, creating faint ghost images. You follow these ghost lines, seeing duplicates of glowing streams swirling outward, bending and stretching as you move. Your senses expand to match the visual complexity. Every detail matters, every curve, every flicker of light is part of the structure. You lean closer to the window, feeling the cool glass under your palms. The warped stars appear almost liquid, flowing around the black hole. You notice a faint background nebula stretched into long, thin shapes. Each color bends slightly, creating rainbow-like patterns where white light separates into faint bands. You reach forward and adjust the shuttle's angle, following the motion, making small corrections to keep your view centered on the dark core. You feel the craft respond instantly. Your body feels weightless, yet the tiny tidal pull is constant. You are aware of every subtle shift, every curve in the light around you. You follow a faint cluster of stars, tracing arcs that loop partially around the black hole. The motion is slow, hypnotic. You feel a soft warmth from the radiation hitting the shuttle shields, a faint reminder that energy is present even at this distance. You notice small flares from the accretion disk reflecting in the lensing arcs, bright streaks twisting around invisible paths. You track them carefully, observing how each flare affects the light of nearby stars. The view is complex, dynamic, alive. You feel fully immersed, every sense engaged, noticing the tiniest detail and the largest curve of space around the black hole. The dark center dominates your vision. Stars, disk, and arc spin around it, all light bending, none escaping the void. You feel the silent power of the black hole in your chest, the pull that reaches even here, faint but real. You lean back slightly, letting your eyes wander, observing distant galaxies stretched into arcs and loops. You notice the motion of the outer disk, slower but still twisting. Light bends as it travels through warped space, creating intricate patterns. You feel awe, respect, and a quiet thrill at witnessing physics that are normally invisible. You tilt your head to see the far side of the disk. Background stars stretch in long arcs, faint but visible. You see faint ghost images of the disk overlapping itself, curves bending toward the void. You follow a bright stream of gas as it loops and twists. Your hands rest lightly on the panel, adjusting the shuttle in tiny increments. You feel every movement through your fingertips, the gentle vibration of tidal pull, the warmth of absorbed radiation. You are fully present, alive in the moment, experiencing the universe's laws as they act around you. The black hole seems calm in its center, yet the space around it flows and bends endlessly. You follow arcs, rings, streams, and twisted light, feeling your mind adapt to the distorted geometry. You notice subtle changes in brightness as some light paths stretch and fade. You lean slightly forward, tracing a faint Einstein ring forming perfectly around the dark core. The motion is mesmerizing. You feel small, grounded, aware, and part of a cosmic scale that is almost impossible to grasp. Every detail, every flicker, every curve is real, and you sense it fully through sight, touch, and the subtle shifts in the shuttle beneath you. You watch for minutes, letting the visuals fill your awareness. The arcs twist slowly, stars shimmer as light bends, gas streams reflect in distorted loops. You feel the quiet hum of the shuttle, the soft warmth on your skin, the vibration of tidal pool, the kaleidoscope of warped stars, and the glowing disk creates a rhythm, gentle and hypnotic. You are present, completely engaged, observing, feeling, and understanding the curvature of space as it flows around the black hole. Every sense is focused, every detail absorbed. You are at the edge of gravity, watching space itself bend, knowing the journey deeper is about to continue. You move the shuttle slowly closer. The glow of the accretion disk brightens. Streams of gas twist faster, sharper lines of white and yellow painting the edges. You notice the colors intensify, as though the energy is reaching you in waves. Your eyes follow a bright ribbon spiraling inward, and you see particles streak past at incredible speed. The bending of light becomes stronger. Stars that once looked like gentle arcs now curve sharply, stretched around the black center. You feel the weight of this gravity, not in pounds, but as a faint pressure, a quiet tug on your body. Your hands hover over the controls, adjusting in tiny increments to keep the shuttle steady. Every movement matters here, as the forces grow more extreme with every kilometer you close in. You glance at the instrument panel. Radiation levels tick upward slowly. Your suit absorbs some of the energy, and you feel it as a faint warmth along your arms and legs. You notice the shuttle vibrating slightly, almost imperceptibly. It is the tidal pull, the difference in gravity between one side of the craft and the other. You lean into the sensation, aware that it is real, measurable. You look outside again. The disk's inner edge glows nearly white. Streams of plasma swirl inward, twisting and spiraling faster than you can trace with your eyes. Light bends so strongly that the stars behind the disk appear doubled, smeared, looping around themselves. You follow the curves, fascinated, tracing the invisible lines of force shaping every particle. As you move closer still, you notice the effect on time. Your own instruments tick steadily, showing seconds and minutes passing normally for you. But you know that an observer, far away, watching from outside this gravity, would see the shuttle's clocks moving slowly. Time near the black hole stretches. You imagine that while a minute passes for you, hours, even days, may pass for someone watching from a safe distance. It is strange, almost impossible to feel directly, but your mind grasps it through the observation of the disk and the stretching of light. The stars appear to speed up outside. Distant galaxies flicker faster, yet your own hands move in normal rhythm. You are caught between two realities, the one inside your shuttle and the one outside, warped by gravity. You lean closer to the window. The inner disk glows intensely. Streams of hot gas seem to shimmer, brighter and faster. You follow a particle streaking inward. Its path curves sharply, light bending around the black hole. You see faint ghost images of stars, doubled and twisted. The visual effect is dizzying, but your body feels calm, suspended in microgravity. You sense the faint pull on your body as the shuttle adjusts to the gravity gradient. It is not strong enough to harm you yet, but it is there, a reminder of the immense forces ahead. You feel your chest press lightly against the harness, the subtle difference between top and bottom, front and back. Tidal forces are beginning to act, stretching you and the shuttle ever so slightly along the direction of gravity. Your eyes follow the swirling plasma again. Streams collide and merge, creating sudden flares of light. You see flashes that last only a fraction of a second, the energy of particles rubbing together at near light speed. The brightness changes constantly, white hot against the darker gold of slower gas. You feel a faint warmth radiating through your suit from the energy your shields absorb. The shuttle vibrates a little more, responding to the uneven pull of gravity across its length. You adjust your grip on the controls, feeling the tiny shifts under your fingers. Outside, the stars are no longer simple points of light. They stretch, bend and curve, warped along the contours of gravity. You trace arcs, loops, and faint rings forming in the distorted sky. You are seeing space itself stretch, move, and twist in response to the black hole's presence. You shift slightly in your seat to watch a bright star near the inner disk. Its light bends sharply, forming a faint loop around the glowing edge. You follow the path carefully. The closer it gets, the more extreme the bending. You notice tiny distortions in the shuttle's view. The light from distant stars behind the disk appears doubled, split, and flickering. You feel the subtle pressure again as the shuttle responds to tidal forces. Every adjustment, every motion of your body is measurable against the backdrop of curved space. You sense the immense scale and power. You are close enough to witness it in detail, far enough to remain protected, and your awareness expands to match the warped reality outside. You lean back, slightly, taking a deep breath. The inner disk spins rapidly, streams of hot gas trailing each other like glowing ribbons. You see faint X-ray flashes along the spirals, bursts of energy as particles collide. Light bends more sharply near the black center. The event horizon looms, invisible yet absolute. You know that crossing it is passing the point of no return. You feel the quiet tension in the air of the cabin, the soft hum of the shuttle, the faint vibration through the floor. Your mind adjusts to the extraordinary view, the distorted light, the glowing disk, and the invisible edge. You watch every movement, every curve, every streak of light. The stars behind the black hole are stretched almost beyond recognition. Their shapes are elongated, arcs bending around the void. You follow one faint streak of light as it loops around the black hole, forming a thin ring before fading. You sense the gravity bending the path, controlling every photon. You reach forward, lightly touching the observation panel, adjusting the shuttle's angle to keep the view centered. Every tiny motion matters here. You feel the weightless pull, the faint difference between one side of the craft and the other, and the incredible energy flowing from the disk. You notice subtle changes in brightness, flashes along the inner edge, the shimmer of particles racing inward. You trace each streak with your eyes, feeling the invisible forces at work. You watch the inner streams of plasma. Some spiral smoothly inward, others collide and flare. The light from these collisions bends sharply, forming small loops and arcs. You follow one particle until it vanishes into the darkness. The inner edge of the disk glows white hot. You can sense the extreme speed, the near-light motion of matter in orbit. Your instruments show radiation peaks, and you feel the faint warmth through your suit. The shuttle vibrates subtly as tidal forces tug gently on the frame. You adjust your position, feeling the pull. Along your body, the faint stretch along your chest and arms. The visual and physical sensations are both calm and extraordinary. The surrounding stars seem to speed up, distant galaxies flickering rapidly. You realize the effect of time dilation. Your own clock ticks normally, but the universe outside appears faster. You follow one distant galaxy as it glows briefly, then stretches into a faint arc. You feel the contrast between your slow movement and the accelerated outside universe. Your body remains calm, steady in the harness, while your mind absorbs the warping of space and time. You lean slightly forward, tracking the twisting stars, the glowing streams, and the dark center. You are aware of the Schwarzschild radius, the invisible boundary. Every particle beyond it is lost to the void, yet the light bending around it tells a story of forces beyond comprehension. You follow the flow of particles again. Streams twist, stretch, and flare. Light bends along curved paths. Ghost, images of stars overlap. You notice faint arcs forming behind brighter material. The disk spins faster near the inner edge. You sense the pull along your body again, subtle but constant. You reach forward, adjusting the shuttle slightly. Outside, the warped sky moves in a hypnotic pattern. Lines of light stretching, bending, doubling. You watch carefully, tracing each arc, following the invisible forces shaping the paths. The visual effect is mesmerizing, the energy immense, and you feel fully immersed. Every sense is alive, observing the curvature of space, the pull of gravity, and the flow of energy into the dark void. You lean back slightly, breathing slowly. Streams of gas flare briefly, some twisting inward, others colliding. X-ray bursts flash faintly along the inner edge. Stars in the distance bend and stretch, creating faint looping arcs. You feel the shuttle respond to minute tidal shifts. The gentle vibration moves through your body. You observe the extreme warping of light, the bending of space, and the stretching of matter as it moves toward the event horizon. You trace the paths of bright particles as they spiral inward. Every detail is vivid, every motion perceptible. You are present in a space warped beyond ordinary imagination, aware of every pull, every shift, every glowing streak of energy moving into the unknown. You follow the glowing inner edge of the disk. Streams of plasma curve sharply, streaks of light bending around the black hole. You notice subtle flashes as particles collide, light bending in arcs around them. The background stars stretch further, some forming loops, others long, faint arcs. You lean into the harness, feeling the shuttle adjust to the pull. Tidal forces tug gently, almost imperceptibly, on your arms and chest. You sense the immense energy, the motion, the curvature of space. You are fully present, observing, feeling, and understanding the distorted universe around the black hole, preparing for the next step, deeper into its mysteries. You push the shuttle gently forward, closer than ever. The glowing disk spins at incredible speed. Light bends sharply now, twisting into long, thin arcs. Stars behind the black hole stretch into lines, some looping around the invisible center. You feel the faint tug of gravity across your body, tiny differences between your feet and the head. The hum of the engines is steady, comforting, as the shuttle adjusts to the growing pull. Ahead, the black center dominates the view, absolute and dark. This is the event horizon, the point of no return. You are about to experience its presence fully, knowing that anything beyond it cannot return. You watch as the light from surrounding stars seems to stretch and blur. Distant galaxies flicker quickly, distorted by gravity, accelerated as though time itself flows differently outside this region. Your own instruments tick normally, yet you sense that the universe beyond the event horizon moves faster, unseen, uncontrollable. You lean forward slightly, eyes tracing the bending paths of light, following the arcs that curve around the invisible boundary. You notice that the inner edge of the disk glows brighter, warped by gravity. Streams of plasma twist inward, spiraling faster, brighter as they approach the void. You feel the shuttle respond to tidal differences, subtle vibrations under your hands and feet, tiny but present. The stars behind you stretch further, almost melting into lines of color. Light from the accretion disk bends sharply, forming thin arcs that flicker and shimmer. You notice ghost images overlapping, faint duplicates of glowing material. The patterns shift slowly but continuously, as if reality itself is being pulled and stretched. You feel a calm focus, aware of the invisible forces. You sense the immense power without danger, the hum of energy around the shuttle, the faint warmth from radiation absorbed by the shields. Every detail matters. Your mind is aware of the scale, your senses alive to the motion, light, and pull shaping the universe. You tilt the shuttle gently to keep the view centered. Streams of plasma streak inward, some brighter than others. You follow a single particle as it spirals closer. Its path bends sharply, light arcing around the void, creating tiny rings that vanish into darkness. You notice the Doppler effect clearly now. Parts moving toward you appear slightly bluer. Those moving away appear redder. Each streak, each flare is a record of energy, speed, and direction. You feel fully immersed, your eyes tracing the paths of particles, light, and stars, understanding their motion through space shaped by gravity and relativity. You feel the edge of something profound, unseen but undeniable. The black center grows larger in your view. Stars, disk, and arcs curve continuously around it. You sense the tidal forces gently tugging on your body. The shuttle vibrates subtly, adjusting to the pull. You lean into the harness, feeling the small differences along your chest and arms. Outside, the light stretches. The universe behind the black hole appears accelerated, distant galaxies moving faster in the warped view. Inside your cabin, time flows normally. Your heartbeat, your breathing, your hands on the controls. All are calm, measured, real. The contrast is strange. Inside the boundary, all is calm and controlled, yet the visual reality is bent, twisted, accelerated. You follow the inner disk again. Streams of gas twist faster, arcs of light bending sharply. Flares of energy flash briefly as particles collide. You feel the faint warmth of radiation, soft against your suit. You trace the motion of matter into the center. Some streaks disappear, vanishing into the dark void. Light unable to escape. You watch, fascinated, understanding that the event horizon marks the limit. Beyond this edge, cause and effect disconnect from the universe outside. The knowledge is abstract, but your senses grasp it in the form of motion, light, and energy. You feel a quiet awe, fully aware of the scale and reality of the black hole. You notice stars directly behind the black hole forming rings. Light bends completely around the void, tracing arcs that vanish into darkness. You follow the motion slowly, observing how curves stretch and fold. The inner streams of the accretion disk spiral faster, brighter. The colors intensify near the center, white hot and glowing. You feel the subtle vibration through the shuttle as gravity pulls unevenly. Your hands adjust the controls, keeping the craft stable. Outside, the warped sky moves continuously, bending, stretching, twisting in ways that challenge normal perception. You feel a quiet focus, fully present in the observation, every sense engaged. You lean slightly forward, tracing arcs, loops, and ghost images. Light from distant stars stretches into long ribbons, wrapping partially around the black hole. The disk glows intensely, streams of plasma colliding and spiraling inward. You notice flashes of X-rays along the inner edge. tiny bursts of energy marking collisions of near light-speed particles. The shuttle vibrates softly under your body, a reminder of tidal forces, gentle but perceptible. You follow every movement, every curve, every flare. The event horizon looms, invisible but absolute. You feel the calm tension of being at the edge, fully immersed, aware and safe, yet witnessing a boundary beyond which nothing can return. The universe outside seems accelerated, distant galaxies flickering quickly. Stars bend and stretch. Light curves sharply around the black hole. You notice arcs forming faint rings, small patterns repeating as you watch. You feel the faint pull across your body, the subtle tidal force, the gentle vibration under your seat and hands. Your mind grasps the physics in real time, seeing relativity in action. The Doppler shifts, the acceleration, the bending of light, all are visible. You follow a streak of gas, spiraling into darkness, its motion sharp, precise, unstoppable. You feel the calm of the cabin, the steady hum of engines, the warm, recycled air. You are fully present, observing the edge of the unknown. You watch the disk's inner edge as it glows brighter, streams twisting in tighter spirals. Light stretches in arcs, some looping, some fading into darkness. You feel the slight stretch along your arms and chest, the gentle tugging sensation from tidal forces. The stars behind you elongate into long lines, bending around the void. You trace a faint Einstein ring forming around the black hole, glowing softly, bending light from distant sources. You are calm, yet your senses are sharp, every movement of light and matter captured fully. You feel the immense scale, the immense power, and the absolute boundary ahead. You focus on the center. It is dark, absolute, yet alive with invisible influence. Streams of plasma spiral inward, colliding, brightening, vanishing. Light bends sharply, forming arcs, loops, rings. The shuttle responds subtly to tidal differences, vibrating gently under your body. You lean forward, tracing every stream, every streak, every arc. You sense the point of no return, the limit beyond which all causal connection to the outside universe ends. You watch as particles and light cross toward it, disappearing. The visual effect is extreme but calm, scientific and real. Your senses are fully engaged, observing every motion, every curve, every subtle flash of energy at the edge of the black hole. You lean back slightly, breathing slowly. Streams of plasma flare briefly, streaking inward. Light bends sharply, arcs looping, ghost images overlapping. The stars behind stretch and flicker. You feel the shuttle shift gently under tidal pull. Every detail is vivid, observable, measurable. You sense the calm inside your cabin, the extreme distortions outside. You are fully immersed, understanding and feeling the physics of the event horizon. The boundary is absolute, yet your experience is safe, real, and grounded. You are witnessing the moment of entry into the black hole, not as fiction, but as the pure, living result of relativity and gravity. You observe, you feel, you exist at the edge of the impossible, fully awake to every sight, sound, and subtle pull around you. You move carefully inward, guided by instruments and your own steady hand. The shuttle enters the region just inside the event horizon, approaching the photon sphere. Here, the light behaves strangely. You notice stars and streams of gas forming faint rings around the black hole. The arcs of light loop and twist, some circling multiple times before fading. You follow one streak, tracing its path in a slow spiral that seems to float in space. Your stomach feels a gentle tilt, a hint of vertigo as the visual field curves in ways that are unnatural but calm. Every motion of the shuttle is deliberate, measured, keeping you steady while the universe outside folds around itself. The inner disk glows brighter and more twisted. Streams of plasma move in curved paths, glowing white-hot at their edges. You notice faint ghost images of particles circling again and again, the light trapped temporarily by gravity. Distant galaxies appear as arcs and loops, bending around the dark center. You tilt your head, following the motion. Every star seems to move slowly, looping along invisible paths. You feel a strange sense of rotation without actual spinning. The visual effect is dizzying, but your body remains calm, suspended in microgravity. You notice the photon sphere bending light around itself, forming almost perfect circles that slowly shimmer and fade. You watch a faint arc of a star behind the black hole. It loops completely around the dark center, forming a thin luminous circle. You follow the ring, tracing it carefully with your eyes. Another streak of plasma twists along a slightly different path, overlapping the first. The colors shift subtly, the arcs of light bending and stretching as your position changes. You feel the shuttle respond to tiny gravitational differences, vibrating faintly under your fingertips. Each subtle motion reminds you that you are inside a region where light itself is forced into curved trajectories, where the normal rules of sight are stretched, yet the physics are exact and predictable. The accretion disk seems to fold over itself. Streams of matter spiral inward, and you see their reflections in faint loops above and below the main plane. Light from distant stars winds around the center repeatedly, forming short, looping arcs. You follow one tiny streak of light as it circles twice before fading, a bright echo of its path. Your hands hover over the controls, making tiny adjustments to maintain orientation. You feel the gentle tug along your arms and chest. Tidal forces now subtle but perceptible. Your eyes trace each twist and loop, absorbing the geometry of light trapped in curved paths. The photon sphere surrounds you, a strange, silent river of circulating energy. You notice a series of faint arcs overlapping across your window. Some are the inner disk, others are distant stars bent into strange shapes. You follow a bright streak of gas twisting in a circle, fading as it moves past your view. Another particle loops behind it, a ghost image forming a second ring. You feel a mild vertigo as the visual field curves unnaturally. Your body senses space differently here. Forward, backward, up, and down feel like suggestions rather than reality. The shuttle remains steady, instruments quiet and reliable. Your eyes track the motion, aware that you are inside a region where photons can orbit, trapped temporarily, light itself circling the black hole endlessly. The glowing inner edge of the disk forms overlapping spirals. Streams of plasma twist in arcs that repeat several times. You watch as tiny flashes of energy occur along the paths. Light bends sharply, looping partially, forming faint rings that persist momentarily. You feel a soft vibration beneath your hands and feet, the shuttle responding to tidal forces, gentle and manageable. You reach forward, adjusting the angle slightly, keeping the view centered. Outside, arcs of light weave over each other, some doubling, some fading, creating a complex, ever-changing pattern. You feel fully immersed, every sense engaged, observing the visual loops created by the photon sphere. You tilt your head slightly, noticing faint streaks of distant galaxies looping. Each arc curves differently depending on distance and angle. Stars behind the black hole appear doubled, tripled, stretched into long ribbons. You follow a single streak, tracing its circular path around the black center, observing subtle changes in brightness as it winds multiple times. The inner disk flashes briefly, a ribbon of plasma curving over itself. You feel your body adjusting to the strange visual geometry, your balance steady in the microgravity cabin. The visual field is vertigo-inducing but safe. You are aware of the exact physics behind each curve, each loop, every trapped path of light. You observe a particle from the inner disk circling again. Its light bends sharply, forming a thin glowing loop. You follow its path, noticing the Doppler shift. Parts moving toward you appear slightly blue. Parts moving away appear red. Another streak of light intersects, forming a ghost ring. You feel your chest press lightly against the harness, aware of the subtle pull along your body. Outside, streams of plasma twist, streaks of light loop, and the black hole's center remains absolute. You feel suspended in a river of curved light, fully present, absorbing every subtle detail of motion and geometry. You glance across the view. The disk appears to fold, streams of gas twisting along multiple circular paths. Light from background stars winds around the center repeatedly, forming loops, arcs, and faint rings. You follow a tiny particle streaking along a curved path, looping twice before fading. You notice faint flashes where streams collide, bending light sharply around the black hole. The visual field is dizzying, yet your mind remains calm, tracking each path, each loop, each subtle motion of plasma and light. You feel aware of the forces at play, the trapped photons, the circular trajectories predicted by relativity, and your own safe, steady position within the shuttle. The inner glow of the disk flares briefly. Streams of plasma twist, spiral, loop, and merge. Faint rings of trapped light shimmer and fade. Distant galaxies stretch in thin arcs, some circling the black hole partially, others appearing twice along overlapping paths. You follow one bright streak, tracing its orbit multiple times. Your body senses subtle tidal pull, the gentle vibration of the shuttle under your hands. The photon sphere surrounds you like a river of curved light. You feel vertigo, yet your mind is calm, fully observing, absorbing, and understanding every motion, path, and visual effect. You lean back slightly, taking a measured breath. Arcs of light continue to loop. Streams of plasma twist and merge. Stars and galaxies behind the black hole stretch and bend. You feel the faint warmth of radiation through your suit, the subtle pull along your chest and arms. Ghost images of matter and light form overlapping rings, curving endlessly around the center. You trace each with your eyes, following paths that repeat, fade, and reappear. You feel the complexity and the calm, fully present, aware of the precise physics shaping the motions. The photon sphere is alive with light, motion, and energy, and you are immersed, observing, experiencing, and feeling the strange beauty of light trapped in curved orbits. You focus on the inner loops. The disk twists sharply, light bending along circular paths multiple times. Streams of plasma streak in overlapping spirals. Faint flashes of X-rays highlight the collisions, arcs bending sharply, forming brief rings. You feel the subtle tug on your body from tidal forces. Outside, stars stretch, faint arcs shimmer, and ghost images appear repeatedly. You follow a bright streak as it loops 3 times around the center, fading into darkness. The visual field is dizzying yet hypnotic. You are calm, fully aware, immersed, tracing each curve, each loop, each trapped path of light in this strange, silent river surrounding the black hole. You tilt your head, watching streams of light spiral inward. The photon sphere bends every path. Stars, the disk, and distant galaxies appear to loop and twist endlessly. You feel subtle spatial disorientation, a gentle vertigo that heightens your awareness. You follow each path carefully, observing the physics in motion. Every loop, every flare, every faint arc is real, predictable, and mesmerizing. The shuttle hums quietly beneath you, instruments steady, your body weightless but fully aware of the forces around you. You are immersed in a place where light itself is trapped, circling the black hole endlessly, and your senses capture every detail in real time, calm and fully present. You guide the shuttle slightly inward, toward the region where matter begins to fall ever closer to the singularity. The accretion disk glows intensely, but now the inner streams of plasma are different. You notice some strands stretching into long, thin lines as they spiral inward. The gravity here is strong, tugging unevenly. You feel a subtle pull along your body, the shuttle vibrating softly as tidal forces act. Streams of matter bend sharply, curving faster as they approach the unseen center. The light from these streams intensifies, glowing bright white and yellow, mixed with flashes of blue. You can see the energy of particles as they heat while falling, colliding with other streams, releasing bursts of radiation. You track a streak of gas moving inward. It elongates as it nears the singularity, stretching into a thin, glowing thread. The particles swirl rapidly, moving faster as the gravity increases. Tiny flashes of X-rays spark along its path, bursts lasting only moments. You feel a faint warmth through your suit as the shuttle absorbs some of the radiation. The vibration under your hands increases slightly, subtle but present. You lean forward, tracing the motion with your eyes, seeing the complex pattern of infalling matter. Some materials spiral smoothly, others collide and flare. Each collision releases energy that lights the streams briefly, the glow traveling in arcs, bending sharply around the black hole. You watch another particle stream. It twists, stretches, and accelerates inward. The light it emits shifts subtly in color, moving toward blue as it comes closer, away to red as it curves past. You follow it for a moment, observing how each tiny element moves along a precise path dictated by gravity and relativity. The plasma collides with other streams, releasing gamma flashes that appear briefly as pinpoints of extreme light. You feel a pulse through the shuttle, a soft vibration accompanying each flash. Your instruments measure radiation spikes, and your mind registers the intensity without alarm. You are observing the raw physics, the reality of matter falling toward the singularity, fully aware of the process, calm and present. The streams of matter stretch longer as they approach the center. Some appear almost thread-like, glowing intensely. Collisions along the spirals produce bursts of light that shimmer and fade. You trace the arcs of these glowing threads as they twist, looping and colliding with other material. You notice subtle Doppler shifts in the light, blue toward you, red away, marking the incredible speed at which particles move. The inner edge of the accretion disk now glows nearly white-hot, flares of energy marking collisions. You adjust the shuttle slightly, feeling the subtle pull along your body, the faint tug of tidal forces stretching the craft ever so slightly along the direction of gravity. You follow a brighter stream. It stretches dramatically, particles moving closer together, forming a glowing ribbon. The velocity increases as gravity pulls more strongly. You watch tiny bursts of X-rays flare along its path, marking collisions with nearby streams. Gamma flashes erupt briefly, small points of blinding light that fade immediately. You feel a faint warmth through the suit where the shuttle absorbs some of this energy. The vibration under your hands increases, tiny pulses responding to shifts in gravity. You lean slightly forward, tracking each path, each collision, each streak of matter racing inward. The light curves sharply, forming arcs and loops, and you observe every motion in calm, precise detail. You notice multiple streams now, twisting and spiraling, some colliding, others stretching into long, luminous threads. Each collision releases energy in bursts of X-rays and gamma rays. You feel the soft pulse of radiation through the shuttle, a subtle warmth that reminds you of the immense forces at play. The streams move faster the closer they get to the singularity. You follow a single streak, watching it stretch, collide, and flare before vanishing. The inner glow of the disk intensifies, streams overlap, arcs bend sharply. Your eyes trace every curve, every flash, absorbing the patterns. You feel your body respond to the faint tidal pull, calm but aware of the strong gravity surrounding you. You lean back slightly, observing the motion of multiple streams. Particles spiral inward along curved paths. Collisions create bright flashes, white hot and blue tinted. Light bends around the black hole, creating faint arcs that overlay each other. You feel subtle vibration under your feet and hands as the shuttle adjusts to tidal forces. Streams of matter stretch, thin, elongated, spinning faster. You trace the loops with your eyes, noticing how some streaks twist back, slightly before merging with others. Each path, each collision, each burst of energy is visible in detail, clear, real, and scientific. You feel immersed, fully present in the observation of matter falling toward the singularity. You follow a dense thread of plasma. It twists, stretches, glows bright white, collides with another stream, sending out a burst of X-rays. The gamma flashes flare briefly, illuminating surrounding material. You feel a faint warmth on your arms and chest from absorbed radiation. The shuttle vibrates subtly, responding to gravitational differences. You trace the path carefully, noticing how it curves sharply, loops slightly, and merges with the main flow. Other streams move alongside, creating a complex, overlapping pattern. Your senses are fully engaged, observing the twisting, stretching, and heating of matter as it spirals inward. You feel a calm fascination, understanding the forces without fear, seeing the physics in motion. You glance toward the center. Streams of matter appear as long, glowing ribbons, twisting and spiraling in intricate paths. Collisions along the arcs produce flashes of light, brief and bright. Gamma rays flare briefly, adding sharp points of energy to the scene. The inner disk glows intensely, streams overlapping, bending sharply. You lean into the harness slightly, feeling the shuttle respond to tidal pull. Your hands rest lightly on the controls, making subtle adjustments to maintain position. You follow each streak, observing Doppler shifts, color changes, and curvature. The patterns are mesmerizing, precise, and scientific. You are fully immersed, aware of every detail, every flash, every path of matter spiraling inward. You track a thinner thread of plasma. It stretches dramatically, colliding with another stream. A burst of X-rays lights up the path. A flash of gamma rays follows. You feel the shuttle vibrate softly in response to the tidal pull. Light bends sharply around the black hole, forming faint arcs. Stars behind appear as faint streaks, stretched along the curvature of space. You follow the path carefully, seeing each motion, each flare, each bend. Streams of matter spiral ever closer to the center, glowing and flickering. You feel a deep sense of presence, observing, feeling, understanding the motion of energy and matter drawn relentlessly toward the singularity. You observe multiple threads simultaneously. Streams collide, flare, and loop. Gamma flashes mark high-energy collisions. X-ray bursts light arcs briefly, fading into darkness. You notice the faint pull along your chest and arms as tidal forces subtly stretch the shuttle. Each streak curves precisely, looping, twisting, sometimes overlapping. You follow the bright ribbons with your eyes, absorbing the paths, the acceleration, the flashes of light. The inner disk glows bright, streams moving faster and faster. You feel fully immersed, sensing the energy, radiation, motion, and geometry. The physics is clear, visible, real, and immediate. You are present in the flow of matter falling into the black hole, witnessing spaghettification, collisions, and radiation in a calm, observant way. You lean back slightly, watching threads stretch, twist, and spiral inward. Streams collide, gamma flashes erupt, X-ray bursts shimmer briefly. Light bends around the black hole, arcs forming faint loops. You feel subtle vibrations along your body, responding to tidal differences. The disk glows intensely, streams of matter moving in intricate paths. You follow each path with careful attention, tracing the motion, light, and energy. The visual effect is dizzying but calm, scientific, and precise. You feel the immense forces, the acceleration, the collisions, the radiation, and you observe it all fully, your senses alive, engaged, and completely immersed in the reality of matter spiraling toward the singularity. You drift slightly closer to the singularity, steady and calm in the shuttle. The glow of the accretion disk stretches and twists, bending around the center in arcs and loops. You notice something strange now. The universe outside seems to move faster. Distant stars twinkle in quick motion, galaxies flicker and shift, as though the entire cosmos is accelerating. You look at your instruments. Your clocks tick normally. Seconds pass for you, quiet and measured. But outside, the universe races ahead. Years seem to flash by in moments. You feel a strange awe, knowing you are witnessing time itself stretching differently, the fabric of reality bending around you. You tilt your view to distant galaxies. They streak across the sky, twisting and folding as light bends sharply. Star clusters shimmer in rapid succession, their motion accelerated beyond normal perception. You follow a single cluster, tracing the arcs as they move quickly along paths shaped by gravity. The accretion disk glows brighter near the center, streams of plasma swirling inward. Each stream curves sharply, some looping multiple times before vanishing. You feel the faint vibration under your hands and feet, the subtle tug of tidal forces. Time outside moves fast. You move in calm, normal seconds. The contrast is quiet but profound. You watch a distant galaxy spin rapidly, its light arcing around the black hole. Colors shift subtly. Blue regions appear briefly. Red regions elongate as the light bends. The visual acceleration is dizzying but not chaotic. Your mind processes each motion deliberately. You lean forward, eyes tracing the paths, following bright stars as they streak along invisible curves. Light from more distant clusters loops multiple times, forming faint ghost images as the photons circle the black hole before escaping. You feel the strange beauty of seeing external time compressed into rapid motion, while your own seconds tick slowly and evenly. The effect is mesmerizing, awe-inspiring, and fully grounded in science. You focus on a small galaxy behind the black hole. Its arms seem to wind quickly, twisting as if spun by a giant hand. Stars move along curved paths, overlapping faintly, forming ephemeral arcs. The disk glows intensely near the inner edge, streams of matter bending sharply toward the center. Gamma and X-ray flashes mark collisions, bright points against the warped background. You feel subtle tidal pull along your body, a gentle stretching in the harness. Seconds pass for you calmly, yet the universe beyond the event horizon appears to evolve at incredible speed. You are witnessing the extreme effect of gravitational time dilation firsthand, observing cosmic motion on a scale normally impossible to perceive. You glance to a cluster of stars. They streak across the warped sky, moving in curved, accelerated arcs. Faint ghost images overlap their motion, repeating in loops. Light bends sharply around the black hole, arcs forming rings that shimmer before fading. You follow one bright star, noting its motion as it races through the field, accelerated by relativity. The accretion disk streams twist inward, flares marking collisions, arcs bending along paths shaped by gravity. You feel subtle vibrations in the shuttle, responding to tidal differences, small but real. You breathe calmly, aware that your seconds remain steady, while the universe outside unfolds in rapid motion, a cosmic time-lapse imposed by the black hole's gravity. You observe a distant quasar. Its light pulses, stretching into elongated arcs as it bends around the black hole. Stars nearby flicker quickly, ghost images forming repeated paths. The accretion disk flares brightly, streams of plasma twisting, merging, colliding. You feel the faint warmth of radiation on your arms, subtle but noticeable. Your eyes trace the motion of each stream, each particle, following collisions marked by bursts of X-rays and gamma rays. Time outside flows faster. Centuries seem to pass while you move in calm, human seconds. You sense the profound difference between local and external time, the reality of relativistic time dilation becoming more than theory. It is visible, tangible, and overwhelming in its scale. You lean forward slightly, observing a galaxy cluster directly behind the black hole. Its light is stretched and accelerated, arcs curving sharply, repeating in loops. Faint ghost images form as photons circle the black hole multiple times. Streams of plasma in the disk glow intensely, moving along curved paths toward the singularity. Collisions mark bursts of energy, brief but bright. You feel the subtle pull of tidal forces, vibrations responding to gravitational differences along the shuttle. You notice the Doppler shifts in light from infalling matter, parts moving toward you appearing blue, parts away appearing red. The cosmic acceleration outside contrasts sharply with the calm seconds inside. You are fully immersed, absorbing both the visual spectacle and the temporal perspective. You focus on a single star cluster. Its motion appears chaotic at first glance, but you trace each path, noting curvature, loops, and acceleration. Ghost images overlap, faint rings of light forming where photons circle the black hole. The disk glows intensely, twisting inward. Streams of plasma flare briefly, colliding with neighbors, releasing X-rays and gamma flashes. You feel warmth through your suit from absorbed radiation. Seconds pass for you normally, yet decades unfold outside. You experience a new perspective. Time is flexible, shaped by gravity and motion. The visual acceleration of distant galaxies impresses itself on your senses. You are calm, observing the scale of the universe through the lens of extreme time dilation. You glance at the black hole's edge. Light curves sharply from the inner disk, forming twisted arcs. Streams of matter continue to spiral inward, flares of energy marking collisions. You feel subtle vibrations in the shuttle responding to tidal forces, faint pulls along your chest and arms. Outside, distant stars streak, Ghost images repeat. Galaxies accelerate. You notice subtle Doppler shifts, arcs of light moving faster as they near the black hole. You follow the motion deliberately, eyes tracing paths, mind calm and focused. Time outside flows rapidly, centuries in minutes. Your perception remains steady, observing relativity in action, witnessing gravity shaping the evolution of the cosmos with visible clarity. You focus on a distant quasar cluster. Its light pulses rapidly, bending around the black hole. Arcs twist and loop, overlapping faintly. Streams of plasma twist inward in the accretion disk, colliding and flaring. You feel faint warmth from radiation, subtle but present. You lean back slightly, observing the patterns, tracing motion, loops, and collisions. Seconds pass calmly for you. Centuries, millennia, seem to unfold in the universe outside. You feel a deep sense of awe at the scale of time, seeing processes normally imperceptible compressed into observable, rapid motion. The universe appears alive, dynamic, accelerated by the extreme curvature of space-time near the black hole. You tilt slightly, observing a faint galaxy cluster to your right. Its stars move in quick arcs, bending sharply as light curves around the black hole. Ghost images form faint loops, repeating streaks of light. Streams of plasma flare in the disk, X-ray bursts marking collisions. Gamma flashes punctuate the visual field, bright but brief. You feel the soft tug along your body from tidal forces, gentle but present. Seconds pass for you calmly. The external universe races ahead, time compressed, accelerated, altered by gravity. You observe the immense effect of gravitational time dilation, visual acceleration of distant galaxies, and the relentless flow of matter toward the singularity, all in real time, fully immersed. You focus on the core of the black hole. Streams of matter twist inward, colliding, flaring with bright energy bursts. Light from distant stars forms arcs and loops, ghost images repeating as photons circle the center. You notice faint Doppler shifts, blue and red regions appearing and stretching along curved paths. The shuttle vibrates softly under your hands and feet, responding to tidal forces. Seconds pass for you, calm and even. Outside, centuries of cosmic evolution flash by. Galaxies rotating, clusters moving, stars flickering. You breathe slowly, aware of the contrast between your steady experience and the accelerated universe beyond. The effect is profound, awe-inspiring, and fully scientific. You lean slightly forward, observing overlapping streams of light. Each streak, each flash, each twist of the disk is clear, visible, measurable. Distant galaxies streak past, accelerated, forming looping arcs and faint rings. Ghost images of stars appear repeatedly as photons circle the black hole. Gamma and X-ray flashes mark collisions in the inner disk. You feel the subtle warmth of radiation and the soft tug of tidal forces. Time outside flows rapidly, while your seconds tick normally. You are immersed in a place where gravity shapes not just motion, but perception itself, where cosmic acceleration, visual distortion, and temporal dilation are visible in every motion and every flash of light. You observe one final bright stream in the disk. It spirals inward, stretching, colliding, flaring with bursts of energy. Ghost images form along its curved path, arcs of light bending repeatedly around the black hole. Outside, distant stars and galaxies move rapidly, accelerated by the extreme curvature of space-time. You feel the faint vibration along your body, subtle but constant. Seconds pass calmly for you, yet the universe beyond races ahead. You follow every path, every flare, every motion observing, absorbing, and feeling the incredible contrast between your steady experience and the rapid flow of cosmic time outside. Your senses are fully engaged, aware of the physics, the scale, and the awe of extreme gravitational time dilation. You guide the shuttle inward, toward the center where gravity becomes almost unimaginable. The accretion disk fades behind you, replaced by a dark, warped void. Light behaves strangely here. You notice faint streams from the outer disk, bending into tight curves, almost folding in on themselves. Your eyes follow them as they spiral inward, shrinking into narrow arcs. You feel a subtle tug along your chest and arms, a gentle but constant pull as tidal forces increase. Instruments monitor acceleration and radiation, showing values rising sharply, yet the shuttle remains stable, shielding you from extremes. You are calm, fully aware, observing the physics at the edge of understanding. You look directly ahead. The black hole's center is a point of complete darkness. Surrounding it, space-time bends intensely. The stars behind appear stretched into thin ribbons, curving around invisible contours. You notice faint arcs of light, ghost images of matter that loop near the singularity. You feel subtle vibrations through the shuttle, responding to increasing tidal gradients. Each arc, each line of light, demonstrates how gravity warps the fabric of space-time. The more you approach, the more extreme the bending, until visual perception seems almost abstract. You are inside a place where ordinary rules of space and light are pushed to the theoretical limits. Streams of plasma still spiral inward. They stretch, flare, and twist under immense gravity. Their light is blue-shifted, appearing brighter and more intense. You follow a single thread as it narrows, curving sharply toward the center. The visual effect is dizzying but precise. You sense the increasing pull along your body, subtle but constant. The shuttle remains steady, instruments measuring precise tidal forces. You feel the strange contrast. Your body is calm, seconds passing normally, while matter outside accelerates under extreme gravity. You observe, noting density, velocity, and curvature, fully immersed in the science of singularities. You focus on the warped space around the center. Faint arcs of light overlap, forming loops that defy ordinary geometry. Stars behind appear as thin, stretched streaks. The disk behind you glows faintly, a soft halo bending sharply near the core. Streams of matter collide, flaring in X-rays and gamma rays, brief but intense. You feel the shuttle respond subtly, tiny vibrations along the control panels and floor. You lean slightly forward, following each path, each collision, each fold of space-time. You feel the edges of theoretical physics, where equations predict behaviors that cannot be seen elsewhere. The visualization is abstract yet real, grounded in models of general relativity. You watch a bright streak of plasma twisting inward. Its path curves sharply, approaching the center along a near-circular orbit. You notice subtle lensing effects, light bending multiple times before fading. Ghost images form, faint reflections of matter looping again and again. You follow each with calm focus, observing density, curvature, and trajectory. Your body senses increasing tidal pull, a gentle elongation along your spine. You remain steady, breathing slowly, fully aware of the forces at work. The singularity itself is invisible, yet its presence is unmistakable, shaping every path of light, every motion of matter around it. You observe faint arcs from distant stars behind the black hole. Their light bends sharply, forming loops that fold onto themselves. Streams of matter from the disk spiral closer, colliding and flaring. X-rays and gamma rays mark high-energy interactions, brief but visible. You feel the shuttle respond. Subtle vibrations and gentle tugs along your body. Seconds pass for you calmly. The universe outside seems frozen in a warped, folded state. You trace each curve with your eyes, understanding how gravity stretches space-time, creating paths that cannot exist in normal space. You are inside the ultimate curvature, experiencing the extreme predictions of general relativity firsthand. You follow a narrow streak of plasma. It twists, elongates, then collides with another stream. The flare is bright and sharp, illuminating nearby arcs of light. Ghost images overlap, faint reflections forming as photons orbit briefly before falling inward. You notice the blue shift of matter approaching the center. Your hands hover over the controls, adjusting slightly, keeping the view steady. The shuttle vibrates subtly under tidal gradients, gentle but continuous. You feel fully immersed in the motion. Every path of light, every collision, every fold of space-time visible, measurable, and real. The physics is abstract yet tangible, overwhelming yet calm. You glance at the warped sky around the center. Stars are stretched into fine lines. Streams of plasma spiral inward like luminous threads. Light curves around the singularity, forming rings and arcs that overlap. Repeatedly, you notice subtle flashes where collisions occur, brief X-ray and gamma-ray bursts. The shuttle's sensors measure radiation and gravitational gradients. You feel the gentle tug of tidal forces along your arms and chest. The environment is extreme but controlled, the shuttle shielding you. Your perception is fully engaged, observing, tracing, understanding the motion of matter and light at the limits of space-time curvature. You focus on faint loops of light near the core. Streams of matter twist and spiral, bending sharply along extreme curves. Ghost images form, looping repeatedly. The inner disk glows faintly behind, distorted and warped. You follow a single arc, tracing its path as it narrows toward the center. You feel subtle vibrations, faint tugs along your body from tidal forces. The light from distant stars stretches and folds into abstract patterns. Seconds pass for you steadily, while the environment around bends into shapes dictated by gravity and relativity. The visualization is extreme, abstract, yet grounded in science. You are calm, observing, and fully immersed. You lean back slightly, observing overlapping arcs of light. Streams of plasma spiral and collide, flares marking high-energy interactions. Ghost images of stars and particles form repeated loops. Light bends sharply, creating complex folded patterns. You notice the subtle blue shift of inward-moving matter, Doppler effects visible in faint color shifts. The shuttle vibrates lightly under tidal stress, steady and reliable. Seconds tick calmly for you. Outside, matter and light follow paths dictated by gravity near the singularity, extreme curvature that stretches perception and challenges normal visualization. You watch and feel every motion, fully immersed in theoretical reality. You observe the final glowing streams near the core. They stretch, twist, collide and flare, arcs of light bending sharply. Ghost images repeat faintly. The accretion disk is distant now, a faint, warped glow. The singularity is invisible, yet its influence dominates every motion and every fold of space-time. You feel subtle but constant pull along your body. Time passes steadily for you, while light and matter behave according to extreme physics. You are fully aware of each path, each twist, each flare, witnessing the limits of general relativity and approaching the theoretical edges of physics. The visualization is abstract but grounded, awe-inspiring and immersive, You tilt your head slightly, observing faint loops and spirals of matter. Streams collide, flare, twist, and shrink. Light bends sharply, forming rings, arcs, and overlapping paths. Ghost images of stars appear repeatedly. The shuttle vibrates subtly under tidal gradients. You follow each path with deliberate attention, noting density, curvature, and acceleration. Seconds pass for you calmly. The singularity remains unseen but dominant, shaping all motion. You observe the ultimate warping of space-time, the folding of reality, and the visualization of conditions at the edge of physics, fully immersed and present, feeling the extremes safely through instruments and perception. You slowly guide the shuttle outward, retracing the path from the singularity. The intense warping of space gradually eases. Streams of plasma stretch less dramatically. Flares become distant points. Arcs of light lengthen and straighten. You feel the gentle vibration of the shuttle under your hands and feet, a quiet hum replacing the faint tug of tidal forces. Your body relaxes as the extreme curvature fades. The darkness of the black hole remains central in your view, but now the accretion disk glows in its full, structured form, swirling steadily without the extreme twists you observed earlier. You feel calm, the intensity of the inner region now behind you, while the black hole's presence continues to dominate the scene. You take a moment to observe the jets from the poles. Streams of particles shoot outward at near-light speeds, glowing in X-ray and gamma light. You follow their path as they extend far into space, tracing the structure of relativistic jets. The streams shimmer, bending subtly with the gravity of the black hole. You notice faint background stars moving in predictable arcs, stretched but clear. The visual effect is mesmerizing, precise, and grounded in physics. You feel the warmth of radiation fade as the shuttle moves outward, leaving the strongest emissions behind. The calm after the intense experience allows you to focus on details you could not fully appreciate when closer. You glance at the surrounding universe. Light from distant galaxies is less warped, though still subtly curved by gravitational lensing. You observe faint Einstein rings forming around the silhouette of the black hole, a reminder of its immense mass and influence. The accretion disk spins steadily, streams of matter colliding gently, flares less frequent but still observable. You notice subtle Doppler shifts, blue and red hues marking the motion of plasma along curved paths. You feel a soft hum in the shuttle, the quiet resonance of its engines maintaining position. The sensation is calm, comforting, and grounded in the reality of observation. You are fully aware of the physics behind each visual effect. You watch the black hole from a safe distance, its gravity shaping space and light in a quiet display of cosmic power. The accretion disk glows steadily, smooth arcs of plasma spiraling inward. Flares appear as brief points of energy, less intense than before. You notice the curvature of background stars, faintly stretched along paths defined by gravity. Jets extend far above and below the disk, particles glowing in X-ray and gamma light, moving at near light speed. You follow one, tracing it as it continues outward into the surrounding space. The shuttle hums softly, your body relaxed, and your mind begins to reflect on what you have witnessed. You think about time, dilation. Seconds for you passed normally, yet outside, centuries of motion unfolded. Distant galaxies rotated, star clusters evolved, light bent and twisted in ways impossible to see from normal space. You feel the weight of understanding, seeing relativity in action. The extreme gravity you experienced near the singularity is now evident in the visual patterns you observe from a safe distance. You notice arcs and loops of light, faint ghost images of matter, and the subtle repetition of photons that circled the black hole before escaping. Each phenomenon reinforces the principles of physics you have just witnessed firsthand. You reflect on spaghettification, matter falling toward the singularity stretched and elongated, colliding and flaring. Streams of plasma twisted into long, narrow ribbons, X-ray bursts and gamma flashes marking each collision. You feel a sense of awe at the processes you observed, understanding the extreme conditions at the edge of physics. The shuttle remains, steady, instruments recording data, while you watch from a distance. The inner chaos is no longer overwhelming. It is clear, structured, and observable. You appreciate the balance between immense gravitational forces and the precision of the physical laws that govern them. You look at the jets again. Bright, narrow streams of particles extend far beyond the disk, twisting slightly as they interact with surrounding space. You notice faint ripples, gravitational waves that propagate outward, tiny distortions in space-time that carry energy across vast distances. You follow their motion carefully, observing speed, curvature, and interaction with background stars. You feel the shuttle hum steadily, a calm counterpoint to the motion of particles extending into the cosmos. Your eyes trace the arcs, appreciating the incredible scale and energy of the black hole system. Grounded in scientific observation, you observe the accretion disk with clarity. Streams of plasma move in steady arcs, spiraling inward toward the event horizon. Flares mark occasional collisions, X-rays and gamma rays briefly illuminating surrounding space. You notice how light bends along paths near the black hole, creating faint arcs and partial rings. Background stars appear slightly stretched, forming subtle loops and curves. You lean slightly forward, eyes following each motion, absorbing the scale and structure. The visual display is beautiful, precise, and scientific. You feel a calm satisfaction, understanding the complexity of what you have just experienced and the principles that govern it. You glance outward, noting the contrast between the calm of your current position and the intensity of regions near the singularity. Light curves more gently, jets extend clearly into space. Background galaxies appear mostly unwarped. The shuttle hums softly, instruments steady, and your body feels weightless, yet stable. You reflect on the extreme environment you just observed, considering time, dilation, tidal forces, spaghettification, radiation, and light bending. Each phenomenon is visible, measurable, and awe-inspiring. You feel fully immersed in both observation and reflection, aware of your presence and the science that surrounds you. You follow a faint Einstein ring forming around the silhouette of the black hole. Light from distant stars curves to create a near-perfect circle, repeated faintly by photons looping multiple times before escaping. You trace its shape carefully, noting the precision with which gravity shapes light. The disk glows steadily, streams of matter spiraling inward, occasional flares marking collisions. Jets extend outward, bright and narrow. You feel a subtle warmth from residual radiation, faint but present. Seconds pass normally for you, while the universe continues at a distant pace. You reflect calmly on the extreme curvature of space-time and the insights it provides into gravity and light. You observe a distant galaxy cluster beyond the black hole. Light from its stars is subtly bent, forming arcs and faint rings. Streams of plasma in the disk spiral inward steadily. Flares from collisions mark points of energy, brief and bright. You notice Doppler shifts as matter moves toward or away from you. You feel the gentle hum of the shuttle beneath you, a constant reassurance. Time appears steady for you, while light around the black hole follows curved paths, illustrating the immense gravitational influence of the singularity. You are calm, attentive, and fully immersed, absorbing the scale, beauty, and physics of the system. You glance at the jets one final time. Particles flow outward in straight, bright streams, glowing in high-energy light. You follow the curvature of their paths, noting any subtle interaction with surrounding matter. Background stars move subtly, faint arcs visible due to lensing. You feel a sense of completeness, having observed the black hole from the edge of the singularity to a safe, observational distance. The shuttle hums quietly, your body relaxed, your mind aware of the incredible scale and forces at play. The cosmos feels alive, dynamic, yet governed by clear, observable laws. You reflect on what you have seen. Lensing distorts light. Jets extend at near light speed. Time dilates. Matter stretches into thin streams. Collisions flare in X-rays and gamma rays, and space-time bends to extreme degrees. You feel a calm, satisfied awe at witnessing phenomena that challenge ordinary perception, but remain grounded in physics. You watch the disk spin, the jets extend, and light bend with quiet precision. The shuttle remains steady, the hum constant. Your breathing is slow, even, and relaxed. You absorb the science, the scale, and the sheer majesty of the black hole system. You take a final, steady look at the scene. The black hole is immense, yet serene from this distance. The disk spins. Streams of plasma glide inward. Flares mark occasional collisions. Jets extend outward, bright and powerful. Light from distant stars bends subtly around the center, forming faint rings and arcs. You feel the shuttle hum beneath you, the calm weightlessness reassuring. You reflect on time dilation, spaghettification, lensing, radiation, and gravity. Everything is observable, measurable, and awe-inspiring. Your mind absorbs the scale and the precision of the physical laws governing it. You are calm, present, and fully immersed in the experience. You close your eyes briefly, letting your senses rest on the scene. You feel the hum of the shuttle, the gentle vibration beneath you, the faint warmth of residual radiation. You imagine the immense forces that shape the black hole, the curvature of space, the acceleration of light and matter, and the perspective of time itself. You breathe slowly, feeling calm and at peace after an intense journey. The universe continues in measured motion outside, light bending, jets extending, matter spiraling inward. You are fully aware, fully immersed, and fully present. The experience is complete, scientific, and unforgettable. You open your eyes and take a final deep view. The black hole stands central, serene yet commanding. Light curves gracefully, arcs and rings visible. The disk glowing steadily, jets stretching into the cosmos. You feel the shuttle's hum, weightless yet stable. You reflect quietly on everything: the extreme physics, the visible effects of gravity, the bending of light, the flow of time, the acceleration of matter, and the immense energy of the system. You are calm, fulfilled, and completely aware of the incredible journey you have just witnessed. You let yourself feel the awe, the scale, and the quiet beauty of the cosmos.